Studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. This is the famous quotation written by Francis Bacon in Of Studies. And you are guessing right, we are going to do Of Studies, which is the most important topic, not only for UGC NET, but for every exam. Even you can have descriptive questions in your assistant professor exam if this topic is in your exam. So in this essay, Francis Bacon, he is not actually lecturing you. He is not giving you lecture on study. He is not saying that you must study. Instead of that, he is raising an interesting question that how to study and why to study. So this is the motto of Francis Bacon to write this essay. As he has absolutely written that line, studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability, and it depends upon the competence. How? I will explain most important 9 quotes of this essay, which are recurrently asked in many literature paper. Okay, so let us start. First, who is Francis Bacon? So, he is our Francis Bacon, born in 1561. So, this is the important year. And he is called philosopher, statesman, father of English essay. He is the father of scientific method because he has given Baconian method. What is Baconian method? If you want to study Baconian method, then you can watch my video New Atlantis, in which he has given the scientific methods that science and religion should be go in parallel so that a society can be built with happy and utopian mindset. Okay, so you have to read that work carefully. You can watch that video. It's totally up to you. Now, our focus should be on this one. He is a philosopher. Because he has given inductive method. He has given inductive method. His approach is based on empiricism, means deep observation. Now he says that we should analyze things inductively. Before him, many writers, they wrote with deductive method. He means to state that first observe the things and collect the data, and then use your experience to attain real conclusion. So that is his inductive approach. He is very pragmatic. Pragmatic means he believed in literal meaning. He believed in writing which reflects objectivity. He did not believe in flowery language, bombastic words. He believed in the words which can attain the height and those words which can help people to understand the basic reality. So that's why he is called pragmatic. He is the philosopher. He is the Lord Chancellor of England. Okay, he is not good at studies. He studied only at age of 12. Okay? But after that, he became statesman because of his communication, because of his political interest. But later in 1621, he fell from grace. He was charged for bribery and then leading to imprisonment and fine. And later then, he gave his life to writing, and then he started writing essays. Now, his style is aphoristic. First and foremost thing is that, who is known as the father of essay? The father of essay is Michel de Montaigne. As we know, he is a French writer. He introduced essays in literature. But in English, he is known as the father of essay. There are 2 reasons. The one reason is that he has introduced essay in English literature. And the other reason is that he gives a structured and intellectual appeal to essays, and that's why he is known as the father of English essay. Now, the style of both writers is different. How? Now, Montaigne, he wrote personal essays and his tone is conversational, whereas Francis Bacon, he wrote with aphoristic language, in which you will find self-contained truth. What is aphoristic? Aphoristic means a brief, pithy statement in which is packed with practical thoughts, which is packed with practical ideas. Like we have seen, like this is the statement. Success for delight, for ornament, and for ability. A short statement, but the meaning is very deep. So this is why it is pragmatic as well as aphoristic. And this is the approach of Francis Bacon. Okay, now this is all about our Francis Bacon. So let us study one by one. So we have 9 PYQ based quotations. So this is our first quotation. Let us break these quotations and understand the meaning in detail. Studies serve for delight. Okay, this is the first. For ornament, second phrase, and for ability. So he has given us 3 examples of human. People are studying, and he divided them into three, you can say, categories. First one is delight, like us. Okay. And you have to answer me which one are you studying for. Delight means in privateness. They read for personal pleasure. They are interesting in reading. Just they go to the room, close the room, find out a book and pick that book, and then they start reading. So it is for their personal use, for their relaxation of mind. The joy of learning. Their reading is not meant for people, for preaching, for teaching. It is for their own sake. It is for their relaxation of mind. It is not for marks. It is not for display. Pure intellectual pleasure. So that is for delight. They don't want that I have my paper, so I have to read that Francis Bacon. If they like to read essays, then they just pick the book of Francis Bacon and they start reading. Then we have ornament. It is our second one. Means to embellish the language. Like they need to communicate better. So that's why they use bookish language. They use bookish vocabs, phrases, so that people will find them effective communicator and they will say, yes, he has good command on English. So that is they use in discourse. It means public speaking. Okay, discourse means public speaking. So for them, knowledge that gives way to your words. Like many educators, many communicators says, read books, read newspaper. If you want to have good communication, that's what they wanna say. That if you want to ornament your language, then you have to read many books. The fine example we have Shashi Tharoor, because he is a writer as well as he reads book. This reflects in his communication as well. And that's why we all are fascinating his vocab. Okay. So that makes you eloquent in company. It's like we have say, we should not use very, we should not use important. Instead, we can use significant. And from where we learn these words? From the books, from the newspaper. Okay. Then we have ability. People knows very well that how to use the vocab, how to use the book concept, how to use that practically. For example, in judgment, if people likes to read book and he knows very well that how to use this book, how to use the knowledge, then they are good in decision making. Studies that sharpen your mind for real decision, the most practical purpose of all. Okay, let me simplify with a clear example. If you are like reading, then you are reading the essays of Francis Bacon, not only of studies, but of truth, of marriage, and so many. Okay. Second one, if you want your language to be ornamented, then you can have essays of Francis Bacon and you can read all words, you can read all the phrases, and then you use all the phrases and words in your communication. Third, ability. If you want to correct net paper and you know very well that Francis Bacon is mandatory writer, and if you work on him very well in depth, then you can correct all the questions coming from Francis Bacon topic. So this is your ability, that to solve all the questions coming from Francis Bacon area. Okay. So this is what the Francis Bacon wants to say. Some read for delight, some read for ornament, some read for ability. Now the question can become like, delight means privateness, ornament means discourse, and ability means for judgment. So this is your PYQ. All 9 quotations are your PYQ. Okay, next one. Crafty man condemn studies. Now what does it mean? Simple man admired them and wise men used them. Now who are the crafty men? According to Francis Bacon, crafty men are those who are just self-centered. They thought that only if I have read that book or NCERT book, or I have attended the class or YouTube class or my offline class, then it is enough to get marks for in a paper. So these are called crafty men. You can say they are Google answer person. They believed on Google answer. Just they search of what is in studies and then they just read that work and they said, I am unable to crack this question in net exam, because they are not getting the depth knowledge that what is exactly the mindset of Francis Bacon. So this is the flaw in crafty man. They condemn studies. They stop studies. They just thought this is the writer. Why I should read this book? Why I should read this writer? I don't like this writer. I know very well about this work. I have Googled that work. Okay. So they believed on surface knowledge. Then we have simple man admired them. Simple man means, okay, I have studied very well. Okay. That's enough. Just they believe on highlighting. They believed on facts. They believe on notes. Okay. They just admire what they have studied. They know very well that it is important to study in detail. It is important to study with depth knowledge. But they admire those books from a distance. And they said, no, I cannot do. They are untouchable authority. Means they know very well that we have to study, but they distance themselves. So they are simple man. They just highlight what is important one. Okay. Then we have wise man. Use them. So who is wise man? Wise men means who know that how to use it practically. They have theoretical knowledge, they have practical knowledge, and they know very well that how to apply this into real life situations. So these are called wise men. Like we have read delight, we have read ornament, and then we have read ability. So wise men have ability to read, to use that book, to use the knowledge. Simple man, they use knowledge for ornaments, they use knowledge for delight. Crafty men, they are Google, they do not believe on research. So wise men believe in research. They believe that research is very important. If I am reading this concept from this book, so it is right or not. So they check that material, they check the fact very well. So they are called wise men. So further he divided people into three mindset, into three different approaches. Now he also says that when we have read about these terms, so he also said that excess of everything is bad. He means to say that too much delight makes or lead you in sloth nature. Sloth means excessive laziness. Okay. Then he says like, don't use too much ornamental language. Don't use too much bombastic words because it leads to affectations. Okay. So this is what he called excess of everything is bad. So have a balance in your life, in everything, in every area. Then ability. If you are very bookish, if you are study a lot, then you will become a bookish monster and you will become a humor of scholar, that you are unable to fight against obstacles because you are too bookish. Your whole life will be in books. So this is what Francis Bacon say, that excess of everything is bad. So too much light makes you sloth. Too much ornamental language makes you affectation, and too much ability makes you bookish. Okay, so these are two important quotes given by Francis Bacon. Now let's move to third one. So in this third quotation, he says that read not to contradict and confute, not to believe and take for granted, but to weigh and consider. He means to say that do not read to contradict and confute. Means some people, they read books and then they started finding flaw and finding errors in writer, in author, that he is not a good writer or she is not a good writer because he has written this as a, it is not like that. Okay. So he wants to say, if you do not like the writing, then don't study. Don't be argumentative. Don't argue that he has this flaw, he is this like, okay, you have to read that. If you are not confronted, so stop reading, because it shows your character. As it is said that Vidya Dadati Vinyam, that is education gives humility, character, and character gives worthiness. So it is against a reader. He says not to believe and take for granted it. If you are reading a book or a factual book or religious book like XYZ, so do not believe on facts. Do not believe that he has written this fact, so he is right one. Maybe he is wrong one. So check the faith. So check the fact with yourself. Do not believe it blindly. Don't be a blind faith. Don't be a blind believer of a writer, of a book, or of anyone else. So it is natural and it is naturally right to, and it is natural and it is right to say that don't believe on anyone. Okay. Please recheck each and every detail, whether I am providing, whether any other educator is providing, whether you are reading from the books. Even renowned books have errors. Okay. Then he says, but why you to have to read? Why you need to study? To weigh, it means just think logically. You have to work on critical thinking. As I always told you, that read some standard books so that your critical thinking will be built. Why? So that you can classify what is right, what is wrong, how much I have to study, and what to ignore. So this is why critical thinking is important. And consider what to consider, analyze, objectivity, and what is real fact behind the book, behind the concept. So this is what Francis Bacon write in this quotation. So do not find error in author work. If you do not like that, stop reading his or her works. Okay. Do not believe, do not be a faith believer, do not be a fake believer or blind believer on any book or any fact, and just read to analyze and generate your critical thinking and think about the work deeply. Okay. Chaliye. Let's move to next one. Some books are to be chewed. Now, this is my favorite quotation. I love this quotation written by Francis Bacon. There are many one, but this is the really a marvelous one. Some books are to be tasted. This is the first. Others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. So now again, he categorized three things. So you can say he has given three culinary metaphors. And this is what we called aphoristic language. That is a pack of practical wisdom. And that's why he called his essays as dispersed meditation. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of this line? Some books are to be tested. It means we read some books to skim. We do not need to go in depth to focus in detail. We just read these books and we do not read cover to cover. We just read, okay, first page, second, third, like this is a book and just, okay. So this is called to be tasted. We do it for skimming. So we read to get quick information. Okay? So we read quick information. Okay, you have make your short notes. So you just took the notes and then you just and finish. Then others to be swallowed. Swallowed, it is for entertainment. It is not for depth knowledge. It is not for detailed study. It is for knowledge. You will read to get just basic information. Like you read grammar. Okay. Like you read grammar books, like you have, I think most of the literature students, they have read about Renan Martin in their BA course or their honors section. So in Renan Martin, you just read, okay, this is the follow, this is the rule, this is the rule. But how many of us can apply the rule? Less amount. So this is what to follow. Just we need to study to get marks. So this is called some meant for swallowing. Then some few to be chewed and digested. Now this is important. Chewed means depth knowledge. When you chewed a chewing gum, it means you are having a taste of the chewing gum. It is in your mouth for a long time. It means you are tasting the book, understanding each and every word, phrases very well. It means you are enjoying that one. You are working on it. You are having a detailed study on the book. You are researching on the book. Okay. And digest it. It means you have worked on that book. You used it practically and theoretically in your life. So that is what chewed and digested. So in this quotation, Francis Bacon is talking about the efficiency of a reader. Like Kabir, we have Kabir's Doha. So he said that rote learning without reflection make mind a stone. I think now you can understand that why rote learning is very dangerous. Okay. So this is what he wants to say. Not all books deserve the same hunger. Some are for skim, that is skim the surface, get the flavor. Then swallow, it means read completely from cover to cover. Chew and digest, sit with it, let it change you. Okay. So this is his quotation. Now, this is another one. Reading make the full man. Reading make you a full man. Conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. Now he is talking about the skills. Reading, writing, sharing. So here he is talking about balanced education. Okay. He is talking about the efficiency of a writer, of a reader, sorry. Now, reading make you a full man. Full man means he has given you here a parallelism approach. Okay, parallelism means he is simultaneously giving you three division, three categories. Now, you have to analyze who you are. Reading make you full man. If you are a good reader and you know very well that where to use, how to use, then you are a full man. That is, mind is well structured with thoughts. If I say, write an essay on Francis Bacon of Studies, and if you know very well, then you can write. So it means you are a full man. Your mind is filled with the information of studies. Then conference a ready man. It means readiness. Like you can communicate very well on the topic. You can converse very well on the topic. You know very well that how to use the quotations, where to use the quotations, okay? How to quote Francis Bacon and how to share the knowledge, how to write descriptive answer. So this is called conference. It means discussion, debate, contradiction. That is the conference. Makes you ready man. That you are always ready to contradict. You are always ready to communicate. You are always ready to debate. Now, writing an exact man. Writing is very important. Reading is the basic thing. First we do. Writing is also important. If you are a good reader, if you read for ornamentation, if you read for chewed and swallowed or digested, then you are a good writer. If you start writing questions or if you start writing answer, then all the informations, whatever you have read, it comes in your mind and your passive vocab becomes active one. So that is why writing is important, which make you exact man. Without writing, whatever you are reading is all vain. How? You have read about the Francis Bacon, but you have not write a single word. Then your memory will become weak. Your retention, okay, the retention memory will be weaker, and slowly and steadily you forget what you have read on Francis Bacon on this essay. That's why it is mandatory to make notes. If you write a few lines on Francis Bacon after the complete lecture, and if you write some 4 and 5 lines, then the whole concept of Francis Bacon will be in your mind exactly. So it helps you to retain what you have studied. That's why writing is important. Like we read thousands words, but still we are unable to use those words because we do not write those words. It is not in our active memory. And how conscious mind works? When you use writing, as I told you, these fingers, they build our muscular memory. And when you write things, so it helps you to retain things. Okay, next. Studies perfect nature and are perfected by experience. Simple line said by Francis Bacon. So this quotation actually continuation of our crafty man statement. This one. Here we have read this line, wise man uses them. Then how wise men use it? So this is our answer. It is hardly 400 word essay. If you are liking this one, so you can read the whole text. He says that studies perfect nature. Like in nature, we have many plants, we have seeds, we have trees. So we are watering seeds to make it plant. Okay. But there are some refined plants, unrefined plants. We need not, like they are called saplings, wheat plants. Okay. He says that studies perfect nature. Study makes us. Okay. Studies build a man. Study gives us reading, knowledge, skills. But nature has both things. Like if it becomes a wild plant, then it harms nature. He means to say that we have two types of persons, or you can say scholars, who are very pedantic, who use bookish language, who are very bookish. They are like, I read this book, that book, okay. They have bookish knowledge. And another category, like they read books, but they have good knowledge. They know very well that how to apply. Like we have many teachers, some read so many books, but they don't know how to teach. They just believe on ornamentive language. They just start speaking in English and you will find, oh, he is very good communicator. His English is very marvelous. And their language impacted you a lot. But after a few months, you will find that he is not a good teacher. He cannot teach you very well, or she cannot teach you very well. So this is what? This is the wild plant. Okay. That kind of persons, they are wild plants, that they are prone to nature. Okay. They need water, they need sunlight, but they are harmful for nature. So that's why those teachers are harmful for your future. But another side, we have those plants who are very helpful. We have those plants who gives us who gives us fruits, who gives us shadow, and they are not harming nature. It means those readers who read less, those teachers who read less, but they give you full knowledge, but they give you full explanation. But like they teach you in Hindi, or they teach you another language. Then you say, no, he cannot speak in Hindi. No, he cannot speak in English. He cannot speak in Hindi well. Okay, he is teaching in native language. And then you say, no, I don't want this teacher, but his content is good. His teaching is good. After a few months, you will realize that. Okay, so this is called studies affect nature. So studies gives direction. So studies give you direction. If you are reading book and you are using it practically, then you can be a good teacher or a human or anyone else. This is only for an example. Okay. Now, they are perfected by experience. Why we need to have experience? Because experience gives them reality check. I have given the example earlier. After few months, you will realize that who is better one. So this is called experience is mandatory. That which is right for me, what to ignore, where to ignore, how to do, where to apply. So this is called experience. So we read books, it builds our nature, it gives us direction, but experience gives us wisdom. Experience gives us boundary. Okay. How to talk, how much to talk, where to be silent. So this is all because of reading. Histories make man wise, poets witty, mathematics subtle, moral philosophy grave. Now he has given 4 subjects, and every subject leads to a different attitude, a different, you can say, instinct. He says that if you are reading history books, then you will be wise because you can attain the knowledge of your past years till now. Like you are reading this essay, it was written 400 years back. So you are getting the knowledge of 400 years. That is, you are getting the knowledge of Elizabethan age through this essay, Renaissance age through this essay, that how Renaissance Prague worked at that time. If you like to read poets, if you like to read poetry, ghazals, shairi, then you are witty one. Witty means you know how to impress, you know how to reply, you know how to be a good communicator. You can be a center of discussion. There is a statement of Ben Jonson, drink only me with thine eyes. If you say this word to your partner, then he or she will feel a special one. They'll say, wow, what a line. And if you say directly, then it is like old traditional one. Okay. So that is why he says poets who read poetry, who love to read poetry, ghazals, they are witty, they are expressive one. Okay. Then we have mathematics. If you want to focus on your life, if you want a focused life, if you want a competent life, then subtle life, then you should work on mathematics because it is based on logical. It needs more accuracy. And if you want accuracy in life, then solve the questions of maths and then look at the result. You will become more focused. You will become more logical and rational. Now you can solve layered question, multiple questions, sine theta, cos theta. You can solve trigonometry, algebra. Okay, and you will be more calculative in front of people. If you know maths very well, then you can calculate things on text. Then we have moral philosophy. It means grave. In simple terms, the person who is more philosophical, who read more philosophical things, he is a dignified, disciplined, and he can contradict you at any time. Okay, if you give him philosophy, then he can attain or he can make you feel that, yes, you are wrong and this is the right one. He is very argumentative, converse you very badly, and he will say, no, you are not right. This is the wrong thing. This is not the philosophy. This is said that speak on anything. Okay, so this is what moral philosopher looks like. Now, this is another statement. If a man write little, he had need have a great memory. What I told you in the writing skill. If you write little, then your memory will be weaker and then it leads you to unsuccessful life. So we have a habit of writing. Like this is the AI time. Okay, as we know very well, we have so many AI applications. Now what you have to read, give the topic to the ChatGPT and he will give you whole the answer. But what is the drastic effect on that? Your creative mind, it will become a stone one. Okay, the real knowledge which you are getting from the books, which you're getting from your classes, it is all vain. So this is the biggest drastic defect actually of AI. So he says that if a man write little, then he had need have a great memory, because it is not easy to recall everything which you have just look and then just you starting thinking, yes, this is that. You need a great command on that skill as well. Okay, Abeunt, Studia and more. So this is the Latin phrase taken from Ovid Heralds. Okay, so this is your again PYQ. Now he says that studies pass into and influence character. It means Vidya Dadati Vinyam. Okay, he says that in a general term, you can make a difference between a scholar and a non-scholar. You can easily differentiate who is educated and who is not educated from attire, from his speaking style, from his walking style. So this is what we called studies pass into and influence your character. That is education. Studies gives you a character, and that character is reflecting in your manner. What you are thinking, you become so. What you are manifesting, it becomes so. What you are writing, it will come into your mind. That's why think positive, get positive. So that's why our elder says, be optimistic, everything will be good and fine. So do not depend whole on books and your teachers. Let teachers will guide you, but make your own notes. So this is all about your Francis Bacon of Studies, and I hope you enjoyed this lecture. So I have only 3 things to say. Every book you have read has left something in you. Every lecture you have attended has shaped you somehow. And every word you have written has made you something more exact man. Okay, so this is all about our Francis Bacon lecture. And if you like this video, and I hope you are enjoying the lectures of Megha Discourse. So bye-bye, enjoy this lecture, and yes, make your own notes. Bye-bye.